What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and it's time for a DBX video. Ooh, that's different. And today we're going to be talking about my most wanted episodes. Now I know what you're thinking, and no, this isn't going to be the same as my most wanted death battle episodes video. Most of those matchups are chosen because they were either super close or super thematic. But in DBX, you don't have to be either of those. As long as you're a cool fight, you're good to go. I mean, we're getting, or already got, Sans vs Ness, depending on when this video goes up. And while there are connections of course because Undertale was heavily inspired by Earthbound, we all know it's only a matchup because of the MatPat meme. Normally I'd have a one character per franchise rule for these types of videos, but there are two characters from the same franchise that just have matchups that are both too good. So hopefully it doesn't feel like the series overtakes the list, but yeah. But anyways, let's begin with my top 10 most wanted DBX episodes. Number 10 is Spyro the Dragon vs Ridley. Now beyond being two purple dragon things, these two have nothing in common. I just think it would be really neat to see Spyro's magical friendly nature go up against Ridley's ruthless, vicious, violent nature. I could see Spyro winning this one, holding back Ridley's power with his much superior and wider arsenal until Ridley incinerates sparks or something. It gets Spyro angry, he turns into Dark Spyro and shows he can be violent and brute forcey too. Now, versus-wise, Ridley would actually mop the floor with poor Spyro. But this is a DBX, you could tell a cool story like that. Number 9, Solid Snake vs the Spy from Team Fortress 2. Now this one would actually end up very close to Snake vs Sam Fisher, which is always a plus. A close quarters combat stealth fighter versus a silent assassination stealth fighter. But with the bonus connection of both of them using cardboard boxes to their advantage. Yeah, I can't believe it, but in TF2, Spy's box taunt actually works in fooling the enemy sometimes. Now this would be an especially neat challenge for Snake, considering a lot of Spy's cloaking and disguise techniques are actually more biological than technology based. So it wouldn't really be anything that his solid eye could just see through. I mean, yeah, Spy does use a disguise kit, but he definitely doesn't need it. He's changed into Tom Jones out of nowhere before. I'd also love to see them make a joke about how annoying Dead Ringer spies are by having Spy fake his death about 3 times in the fight before Snake gets an actual finishing blow. It'd be a cool fight. Number 8 is Scooby-Doo vs Courage the Cowardly Dog. There's nothing more to this one beyond it just being a silly, fun, and thematic matchup. The only problem with it is that I don't know how a fight would start. Both of these characters are too nice. They'd probably team up running away from a monster, and they wouldn't really fight over Scooby snacks because liking food isn't really a big Courage the Cowardly Dog character trait. Maybe Scooby is casting a shadow on the wall or something and his ears look like horns, it scares Courage throws something and it hits Scooby, and because Courage is a small, tiny dog and not a monster, Scooby would go into attack mode or something, I don't know. I just think it would be a really fun and goofy battle in between all the more rough and intense stuff, you know, like Ronald McDonald vs Colonel Sanders and Bendy vs Cuphead were. Also, I was supposed to voice Courage in this matchup in a different versus show, but that ended up not happening, so maybe I could slip in there if Death Battle tries it. If you want to hear my Courage voice, I'll leave a video with it down in the description, so be sure to check that out. Number 7 is Jafar vs Maleficent. Now last season in DBX, we got Lucina vs Mulan for whatever reason, but it was really cool. Then in Death Battle this season, we got more Disney with King Mickey and more animated movie characters with Poe, so I'd just love to see them dive in deeper by using 2 of those characters against each other. Now I've actually done this matchup myself before, but I had no budget, so I couldn't really do a fight for it, only the research part. And I think it'd be cool to see DBX just bring this matchup to life. A beautiful, amazing, stunning, magical battle with all kinds of crazy visual effects, and they could even change it to their animal forms. Snake Jafar vs Dragon Maleficent. Now tell me that wouldn't be awesome. Number 6, Jake the Dog from Adventure Time vs Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. And prepare for the shortest segment ever because I don't know what to say about this fight. I just think it would be really cool and imaginative with all their stretchy and shape-shifting powers. And that's about it. Now I haven't really seen any of One Piece beyond like the first 3 episodes, but from what I can tell Luffy's a pretty fun character and so is Jake, so it would be entertaining to watch. I should really start writing scripts for these videos instead of just winging it. Stretchy boys, yeah. Number 5, Panty vs Ryuko. Now these two don't really have much in common, but they're both from extremely stylistic and cool looking animes, so the fight scene would just be incredible. All the vibrant colors, their different weapons and powers clashing. And if the fight had dialogue, it could turn out really hilarious, with Ryuko's temper being tested by Panty's sass and teasing. Panty does have a bit of a temper herself, but she still retains her sass and quick wit, even when it begins to flare up. So I'd love to see Ryuko get even more angry when Panty stays 3 steps ahead of her in banter, even when she's ticked off too. Overall, there aren't really many connections to be had, but just the idea of it is cool enough on its own to make me want it. Number 4, Vector the Crocodile vs King K. Rool. Who doesn't want a crazy cool crocodile battle? Now, Espio the Chameleon has already been on DBX before, but his episode was underwhelming, so we need Vector to pick up the slack for the Chaotix. Especially with how awesome the fight would be. Vector with his superior speed and arsenal going up against King K. Rool's superior power and defense. We've all had to deal with that super armor and smash. Not only that, but in the middle of the fight, they could break out into a musical battle. Vector is a wannabe rock star, and King K. Rool sings plenty in the Donkey Kong Country cartoon. Ultimately, I just think it would be a really fun episode to see. Both of these characters are filled to the brim with personality, we could always use more reptile characters, and Espio does need a makeup for his episode not being fantastic. Number 3, Monkey King vs Son Goku. Lego Sun Wukong vs Anime Sun Wukong. Obviously, this is very thematic. Sadly though, versus-wise, Goku stomps way too hard for this fight to be interesting at all as a death battle. As a DBX though, that doesn't matter. And it's okay that Goku stomps. It doesn't mean Monkey King isn't strong enough on his own. In the first episode of his series, Lego Monkey Kid, Monkey King performs a mountain-level feat in like the first 5 minutes, and scales to a character who performs a Dwarf Star-level feat in the first episode. I know they're Legos, but Monkey Kid is insane, and I will continue to support the show. I'll even link a clip down in the description that is sure to get you interested if you check it out. Overall, this would be a really cool fight. 2 unique versions of Sun Wukong that are both voiced by Sean Schemmel. Number 2, Dingodile from Crash Bandicoot versus the Pyro from Team Fortress 2. Yep, TF2 is the franchise with 2 reps on here. I just think the Pyros and the Spies matchups are way too fun to choose one over the other. But this one would definitely be a much bigger stomp than Spy vs Snake, making it more fitting for a DBX, which is why it's this much higher on the list. Not only that, but thanks to Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, this fight is even more thematic, as Dingodile gained this leaf blower vacuum air suction thing that's similar to Pyro's air blast. Plus, they're both characters that are inhuman in some way. Dingodile's is more obvious, but yeah. And they think they're doing more good than harm, when actually that isn't the case. Dingodile with his health inspection failing diner, and Pyro with his pyrovision hallucinations. And number 1 is Jin Kazama from Tekken versus Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto. They're both martial artist lightning users, they both have curse marks, they both have dark winged forms, they both dislike members of their family. They even have somewhat similar haircuts, but Jin came first, so Sasuke's the one that stole the do. Now, like Pyro vs Dingodile and Jafar vs Maleficent, this is a fight I've done before too, but couldn't get an animation for because I didn't have a budget. And I just really want to see it brought to life. Definitely on DBX though, not Death Battle. Death Battle and I have very different stats for both Tekken and Naruto. I don't want to see my boy Jin get stomped, even though I also put him up against Animated Series Raven, who does exactly that. But anyways, there you have it. There's my top 10 most wanted DBX episodes. Yes, this video was a lot shorter, but what do you expect? It's DBX. No researcher feats or closeness of the fight to talk about, just cool matchups that I'd love to see. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What do you think of my picks, and what are your most wanted DBX episodes? I'll be sure to read them, and I'll see you guys next time. Leopold the Brave, out.